What happens when Timothée Chalamet walks onto a live daytime talk show expecting a warm conversation, only for an unexpected moment with Sunny Hostin to completely shift the energy in the room. Stay tuned, because what started as a casual interview quickly turned into one of those tense live TV moments that nobody in the audience saw coming. Make sure to subscribe to the Star Talks and like and comment for more talk show coverage. The applause rises as Timothy walks onto the set with a quick smile, waving to the audience before settling into his chair. The energy is warm, familiar, exactly the kind of reception daytime audiences love. One of the hosts leans forward immediately. "Well, first of all," Sunny says with a grin, "welcome. We're happy to have you here." Timothy nods politely. "Thank you for having me. I appreciate it. You've been everywhere lately," another host jumps in. "Movies, interviews, premieres. Do you ever get tired?" A few laughs ripple through the audience. Timothy shrugs, smiling. "Honestly, sometimes. But it's exciting too. I think when you care about the work, you try not to complain." The audience claps lightly. Sunny tilts her head. "You've become kind of mysterious to people." The crowd chuckles. "Mysterious?" Timothy repeats with a grin. "Yes," Sunny says. "You're one of those celebrities where people think they know you, but they really don't." He laughs quietly. "That might just mean I'm boring." "No," Sunny says quickly. "It means you're careful." There's a subtle shift in tone. Not dramatic, not uncomfortable yet, but noticeable enough that the audience quiets a little. Timothy crosses one leg over the other. "Careful." Sunny smiles politely, but her expression sharpens just slightly. "You don't say too much publicly. You avoid controversy. You're thoughtful with answers." Another host jumps in to lighten it, which, by the way, is smart. Audience laughter breaks the tension. Timothy smiles again. "I don't know if it's strategy. I just try to be honest without pretending I know everything." "That's fair," Sunny says. "But sometimes people with big platforms avoid saying difficult things." The room goes quieter. A few audience members shift in their seats. Timothy pauses for a moment. "Well," he says carefully, "I think difficult conversations matter." Sunny nods immediately. "Right. But some people feel actors today pick and choose when to speak up." The audience gives that familiar daytime murmur, not loud but present. One host leans back slightly, glancing between them. Timothy smiles politely again, though the smile feels smaller now. "That's complicated," he says, "because everybody expects public figures to have answers for everything." Sunny leans in. "But isn't that part of the responsibility?" There's a noticeable pause. Not hostile, not explosive, just tense. Timothy shifts slightly in his chair. "I think responsibility matters," he says. "But I also think people should speak when they actually know what they're talking about." Audience applause. Sunny nods, though her expression tightens for a moment. "Interesting," she says. "So are you saying actors shouldn't weigh in?" No, Timothy says quickly, smiling again. "Not at all." He gestures lightly with his hands. "I'm saying there's pressure now to comment on literally everything. And sometimes, maybe listening is better than performing certainty." A louder round of applause rises. One audience member says, loud enough to be heard. Sunny smiles, but the expression feels measured now. "I hear that," she says. "But people also look at silence and wonder what it means." Another host quickly laughs. "Oh, here we go." Audience laughter softens the mood. Timothy laughs too. "I had a feeling this might happen," he jokes. The audience laughs harder. Sunny smiles. "What does that mean?" "No, I mean," he says, laughing lightly, "this is a serious table." Audience applause. You all ask real questions. Sunny nods. "We do." There's another small pause. She leans forward again. "Let me ask this differently," she says. "Do you think celebrities benefit from public attention but avoid accountability when conversations become uncomfortable?" The room changes again. That question lands. Not explosive, but heavier. Timothy's smile fades just slightly. He nods slowly like he's thinking. "I think accountability matters," he says carefully. "But," Sunny asks immediately. Audience laughter, nervous this time. "But I think people are complicated," Timothy continues. "And public conversations online especially become really black and white." Sunny raises an eyebrow. "So accountability gets harder?" "No," Timothy says calmly. "I think it becomes performative." A few audience members react audibly. "Oh!" The tension becomes visible. Another host shifts in her seat. Sunny pauses. "What do you mean by performative?" Timothy exhales softly. I mean, sometimes public conversations become less about helping people and more about proving you said the correct thing. The audience claps. Not everyone, but enough to feel noticeable. Sunny folds her hands. So are you criticizing activism? No, Timothy says immediately. The interruption comes fast. No, not at all. He laughs nervously. This is exactly what I mean. Audience laughter erupts. Even Sunny laughs. Okay, fair, she says. Another host jumps in. He walked right into that. The audience claps and laughs. Timothy shakes his head, smiling. I knew I was going to say something wrong. Sunny laughs again, but keeps her focus. No, but seriously. Because I think people listening would hear what you're saying and wonder, okay, if public support matters, what's the balance? Timothy nods. That's a fair question. He pauses longer this time. I think people should care deeply, he says. I think people should speak honestly. I just think there's pressure to sound perfect. The audience quiets. He continues. And perfection isn't real. Sunny watches him carefully. So when people challenge celebrities, you think expectations are unfair? Timothy smiles slightly. I think expectations are huge. Another host nods immediately. Oh, absolutely. Timothy continues. Look, I'm an actor. I make films. I'm grateful people care what I think at all. But sometimes it feels like if you don't say something perfectly, you're treated like you meant harm. The audience claps louder now. Sunny looks thoughtful. But intent isn't always impact. The room gets quieter again. Timothy nods. You're right. That answer lands differently. Quick. Unexpected. Sunny looks surprised for a second. You agree? Yes, he says. Audience silence. I think intent and impact are different. Sunny leans in slightly. But the audience laughs again at the repeated pattern. Timothy smiles. There's always a but. Even Sunny laughs. He leans forward now too. I just think conversations work better when people are allowed to learn instead of immediately being treated like villains. The audience reacts loudly. Applause. A few cheers. Sunny glances briefly toward the crowd before looking back. You think society moves too quickly to judgment? Timothy hesitates. Sometimes. Sunny crosses her arms loosely. But consequences matter. Yes, Timothy says quickly. Of course. The pace feels faster now. More live. More reactive. I just think there's a difference between accountability and punishment. A loud murmur moves through the audience. One host quietly says, Okay. Sunny raises an eyebrow. That's interesting. Timothy shifts again, suddenly more animated. I'm not pretending I know the answer, he says. I just think conversations are harder when everyone's afraid of saying the wrong thing. Audience applause. Sunny pauses longer this time. She says slowly. I think some people would hear that and say fear comes from finally being challenged. The audience murmurs again. Timothy smiles politely. Maybe. The answer surprises people. Sunny blinks once. Maybe. He nods. Sure. I think challenge is healthy. He shrugs slightly. I guess I just think curiosity matters too. Another host cuts in before the room grows heavier again. Can we just acknowledge this got deep fast? Big audience laughter. Timothy laughs immediately. Sunny laughs too. You started it. Another host jokes towards Sunny. Sunny points jokingly. I absolutely did. The audience claps. Timothy relaxes back into his chair, smiling again, though the tension hasn't disappeared. Sunny looks toward him once more. But I'm curious, she says softer now. Has there ever been a moment where criticism genuinely changed how you thought? Timothy pauses. This time longer than before. The audience quiets again. Yeah, he says finally. And suddenly the room feels different. More personal. Less debate. More honest. He leans forward slightly. Actually, yeah. Timothy nods slowly, the audience noticeably quieter now, the earlier laughter fading into curiosity. Actually, yeah, he repeats. More than once. Sunny leans forward immediately. Can you give an example? He laughs softly, almost nervously. You're not going to let me stay vague, huh? Audience laughter breaks the tension. No, Sunny says with a smile. That's not what we do here. Another host jumps in. You knew where you were coming. More laughter. Timothy grins and shakes his head. Fair. He pauses for a second, thinking carefully. I think when you're younger in this business, especially when things start happening fast, you get very inside your own world. The audience listens closely. You're moving constantly. Everybody's telling you things. Everyone has opinions. You stop noticing how disconnected you can become. Sunny nods slowly. So criticism humbled you? He laughs. Oh, definitely. Audience laughter rises again. No, seriously, he continues. There were moments where people pointed out things I said, or even ways I came across, that made me stop and think. Sunny folds her hands. Like what? Timothy hesitates. The audience goes quiet again. I think sometimes I tried too hard to sound thoughtful. The audience laughs lightly. He shrugs. Which sounds ridiculous, but I mean it. Sunny raises an eyebrow. How so? I think sometimes public figures get scared of saying something messy or human, so they start sounding rehearsed. Audience murmurs. And Sunny presses. And then people stop trusting you, Timothy says. A few claps rise from the audience. Because people can tell when someone's performing sincerity. That line lands. Even the hosts glance at one another. Sunny leans back slightly. That's interesting. One host laughs softly. Careful now. Audience laughter follows. Sunny smiles but keeps going. No, because if we're talking about performance, this is television. Public life is performance to some extent. Timothy nods. Totally. So where's the line? Sunny asks. Between authenticity and performance? Exactly. He pauses again. The audience waits. I think, he starts slowly, the line is whether you're actually listening. Sunny tilts her head. Listening? Yeah, Timothy says. Because people can tell when someone walks into a conversation already decided. The audience murmurs louder this time. Sunny's expression sharpens slightly. You think people on television do that? A few audience members laugh nervously. Another host glances sideways immediately. Oh boy. Timothy notices it and laughs. No. See, this is what happens. Audience laughter erupts. Sunny smiles but doesn't back down. No, answer the question. He exhales dramatically, smiling. This feels dangerous. Big laughter from the crowd. Sunny points toward him jokingly. Welcome to daytime. The audience claps. Timothy leans back for a second. I think everybody does it, he says carefully. Not television people. Humans. Sunny nods once but stays focused. So people walk in defensive? Yes, he says immediately. And online especially. The crowd murmurs agreement. I think people spend so much time preparing their response that they stop hearing what someone actually said. Sunny looks thoughtful. That I agree with. Audience applause. One host claps lightly. Look at this, we found common ground. The crowd laughs. Timothy smiles. That was fast. Sunny laughs too. Don't get comfortable. Audience laughter. But, Sunny says, turning serious again, there's another side to this. Timothy nods. Okay. Sometimes people say, let's have dialogue, when what they really mean is don't criticize me. The audience reacts instantly. A few claps. Timothy's expression changes, not defensive, but focused. That's true, he says. Sunny blinks slightly. You agree again? He laughs. Yes. Audience laughter. I'm annoying, right? No, Sunny says. You're surprisingly diplomatic. Audience applause. Timothy smiles awkwardly. That sounds suspicious. Another host laughs loudly. It kinda does. Sunny leans forward again. No, but seriously. Because I think accountability conversations can get frustrating. She gestures toward the audience. People hear celebrities say, we should have compassion. And sometimes that feels like a way of escaping responsibility. Timothy nods. That's fair. Audience quiet again. But I also think people are inconsistent. Sunny raises an eyebrow. How? He takes a breath. I think we demand humanity from public figures while punishing them for being human. The audience reacts instantly. Soft applause. Sunny watches him carefully. Define human. Mistakes, he says. Growth. Saying something imperfect. Learning publicly. Sunny crosses her arms loosely again. But there are levels to mistakes. Absolutely, Timothy says quickly. The pace speeds up again. Obviously. He gestures with both hands. I'm not saying everything deserves forgiveness immediately. The audience listens closely. I just think we're bad at nuance. A host softly says, true. Audience applause grows louder. Sunny tilts her head. Nuance can also become an excuse. Timothy nods. You're right. The audience laughs at how quickly he answers. Sunny laughs too. You really like agreeing. No, he says laughing. I just think you're making fair points. Then he pauses. But I think something else happens too. The room quiets. What? Sunny asks. Timothée leans slightly forward. I think outrage became entertainment. The audience reacts immediately. Louder this time. Oh, some applause. Some murmuring. Sunny's face shifts. Entertainment. Yes. He looks around carefully. Not just media. Everybody. Sunny folds her hands. Explain. I think we reward conflict. Audience silence. We say we want resolution, but attention goes to fights. The crowd murmurs again. Another host quietly nods. Timothée continues. Online interviews everywhere. Sunny gives him a look. So are you saying tough conversations shouldn't happen publicly? No, he says quickly. They should. He pauses. I just think there's a difference between a real conversation and somebody trying to win. The audience claps loudly. Sunny waits before responding. You think I'm trying to win? The room goes still. A couple nervous laughs. Timothée freezes for half a second, then laughs nervously. No. Oh my God. Audience erupts laughing. No, no, no. He points jokingly. See, this is exactly why people panic. Sunny bursts into laughter. The audience joins her. Another host nearly doubles over laughing. He is sweating. More laughter. Timothée covers his face briefly. This is terrifying. Sunny wipes away a laugh. Okay. I'm teasing. The audience settles. But answer this honestly. Her voice softens again. Do interviews ever feel like traps? The room quiets. Timothée hesitates. The pause feels real. Longer than before. Sometimes, he admits. Audience murmurs. Sunny nods slowly. Why? Because people hear clips, not conversations. Audience applause. He continues. You can talk for an hour, say something complicated, and 10 seconds becomes the headline. Another host immediately jumps in. That part is true. Sunny nods reluctantly. Fair. Timothée looks more relaxed now. And then everybody argues over a version of what you said. Sunny studies him for a second. You seem more frustrated than people realize. He laughs quietly. Maybe. Audience laughter. No, seriously, Sunny says. You have this image of being calm and mysterious. The crowd chuckles again. But right now you sound kind of tired of celebrity culture. Timothée smiles. That's because celebrity culture is weird. Big audience laughter. Fair. One host says immediately. Timothée shrugs. It's strange. People know your face, but not your life. Sunny nods. And that affects trust. Yes. He pauses. I think people project things onto public figures. Sunny leans forward. Like what? That you owe them certainty, he says. Audience quiet. That you owe perfect politics, perfect opinions, perfect language. Sunny interrupts gently. But influence matters. Yes, Timothée says quickly. And criticism matters. Sunny nods. So then why does this sound like frustration? He pauses again. This one takes longer. The audience waits. Then he says something quieter. Because I think people stop seeing each other. The room shifts. No laughter. No murmurs. Just attention. Timothée keeps going. I think we stop seeing humans. Sunny watches carefully. And start seeing symbols? He nods immediately. Yes. Audience applause breaks out again. Not explosive, but warm. Sunny sits back. That's actually really thoughtful. Timothée laughs softly. There I go again. Audience erupts laughing. Sunny laughs too. No, I mean it. Then her tone changes. But I still think something's missing. The audience quiets instantly. Timothée glances up. What? Sunny looks directly at him. You keep talking about pressure on celebrities. A beat. What about responsibility to ordinary people? The audience murmurs. The tension returns. Slowly. Naturally. And suddenly the conversation feels like it's heading somewhere sharper again. Sunny looks directly at him, waiting. You keep talking about pressure on celebrities, she says. What about responsibility to ordinary people? The audience murmurs softly. Timothée nods once, slower this time. That matters more, he says. The answer catches Sunny slightly off guard. More. Yes. The audience quiets. I mean, if we're talking honestly, regular people live with consequences public figures don't. A few audience members clap. Sunny watches him carefully. Explain that. He leans forward, elbows lightly resting on his knees. If somebody loses a job, struggles financially, deals with real-world systems every day, those stakes are huge. The audience nods along. I think celebrities can sometimes become too focused on conversations happening around them. Sunny tilts her head. You're criticizing your own industry. A small laugh escapes him. I guess. Audience laughter follows. No, seriously, he continues. Sometimes we act like public discomfort equals hardship. A louder reaction from the crowd. Oh, Sunny's eyebrows lift. That's a pretty honest thing to say. He shrugs. I'm lucky. The room settles again. But, Sunny says, leaning forward, if you know that, why do celebrities still sound defensive? The question lands harder than expected. Timothy pauses. A longer silence. The audience waits. Fear, he says finally. Sunny blinks once. Fear. Yeah. The audience stays quiet. Fear of getting it wrong. Fear of disappointing people. Fear of being misunderstood. Sunny nods slowly. But ordinary people get criticized too. Yes, he says immediately. They absolutely do. Then he pauses. But public criticism at scale is different. One host jumps in gently. I think people underestimate that. Sunny glances sideways. Maybe. Timothy continues. Look, I'm not asking for sympathy. He laughs lightly. Before anybody clips that, audience laughter breaks the tension. I'm serious, he says. I just think pressure changes people. Sunny folds her hands. Does pressure make celebrities fake? The audience reacts with nervous laughter. Timothy smiles immediately. Wow. Another host laughs loudly. She came ready today. Audience applause. Sunny grins. No, I'm asking. Timothy thinks for a second. I think pressure makes people guarded. Sunny nods. Guarded sounds nicer than fake. Audience laughter. He laughs too. Fair. Then he exhales. Okay. Sometimes people become performative because they're scared. The audience quiets again. Sunny tilts her head. So fear creates inauthenticity? Sometimes. A small murmur spreads through the room. Timothy keeps going. If everybody's waiting to attack mistakes, eventually people stop talking like humans. Sunny interrupts gently. But criticism exists for a reason. Yes, he says quickly. Absolutely. He gestures lightly. I just think we confuse accountability with humiliation sometimes. The audience reacts immediately. A few claps. One louder. Sunny doesn't interrupt. She watches him carefully. You think people enjoy humiliation? He hesitates. Sometimes. Audience murmurs again. And social media definitely does. Big audience reaction. Another host laughs. Okay, he said it. Sunny smiles briefly. But isn't public accountability uncomfortable by nature? Yes. Timothy nods. I think discomfort matters. The room grows quieter. But there's a difference between discomfort and destruction. That line lands. Audience applause grows louder. Sunny waits for the clapping to settle. You know what's interesting? She says. What? Timothy asks. You sound frustrated with culture while also benefiting from it. The audience reacts immediately. A couple nervous laughs. Timothy nods slowly. That's true. Sunny pauses. You agree? He laughs. I mean, yeah. Audience laughter. No, really, he says. That contradiction exists. Sunny leans in again. So what do you do with that contradiction? Timothy pauses. The audience quiets instinctively now whenever he stops speaking. I think you acknowledge it. He shrugs. You don't pretend you're outside the system. A host nods. That's fair. Timothy continues. I get opportunities because people care about my work. Sunny interrupts. And attention. He nods. Yes. Attention too. The audience listens closely. But I don't think benefiting from attention means you stop being allowed to question the culture around it. A few claps ripple across the room. Sunny raises an eyebrow. Questioning or complaining? The audience laughs nervously. Timothy laughs too. That was sharp. Sunny smiles. It's my job. Audience applause. He leans back for a moment. Questioning. Then he pauses. Though maybe occasionally complaining. The audience laughs loudly. Even Sunny laughs. Okay, honesty. Another host points jokingly. We finally got him. Timothy laughs harder. Yeah, celebrity culture is exhausting. Audience applause. Sunny studies him. What part? He thinks. The expectation that you're always available emotionally. The room quiets. Sunny leans slightly closer. That's interesting. Like, Timothy says, searching for words, people want vulnerability, but only specific kinds. Audience murmurs. What do you mean? Sunny asks. I think people say, be authentic, but sometimes they mean, say the thing I already agree with. The crowd reacts again. Louder this time. Sunny shifts in her chair. But authenticity isn't freedom from criticism. No, he says quickly. Definitely not. He nods firmly. That's important. Sunny notices the shift. You really want to make that clear. Yes, he says immediately. Audience laughter. No, because I know how conversations work now. More laughter. One sentence becomes, actor says criticism bad. The audience claps. Sunny laughs. You're media trained. I'm traumatized. The audience explodes laughing. Even Sunny bends forward laughing for a second. Okay, she says, catching herself. That was funny. The mood softens. For a moment, it feels lighter. Then Sunny turns serious again. But I want to challenge something. The audience quiets instantly. Timothy nods. Okay, you keep talking about grace. Yes. You keep talking about learning. Yes. Sunny folds her arms loosely. But some people don't get grace. The room stills. Timothy's expression changes. More attentive now. What do you mean? He asks softly. Sunny gestures toward the audience. Regular people. The room stays quiet. A single mistake can cost somebody their job, their reputation, their future. Timothy nods slowly. You're right. Sunny continues. So why should powerful people get patience ordinary people don't? The question hangs there, longer than any before. Even the audience stops moving. Timothy sits back slightly, thinking, really thinking. A host glances toward him. Nobody interrupts. Finally, he speaks. I don't think powerful people deserve more patience. Quiet. I think everybody deserves more. The audience erupts into applause. Not explosive, but immediate. Sunny doesn't speak. She watches him. He keeps going. I think ordinary people deserve grace too. The applause continues. I think workers deserve understanding. Families deserve understanding. People online deserve understanding. Sunny nods slowly. But consequences still exist. Yes. His answer comes instantly. They should. The pace speeds up again. I'm not saying consequences disappear. He leans forward. I'm saying we've become really bad at separating accountability from cruelty. A louder audience reaction. Sunny raises an eyebrow. Cruelty. Yes. The room grows quieter again. I think cruelty gets normalized when people feel morally right. That lands heavily. The audience murmurs. One host shifts in her chair. Sunny studies him carefully. That sounds personal. He laughs quietly. Maybe. Audience laughter breaks the tension. Sunny softens slightly. Have you experienced that? Timothy pauses. Longer than usual. The audience senses it. He looks down briefly, then back up. Yeah, he says quietly. No laughter now. No clapping. Just silence. Sunny's tone changes too. Less debate. More curiosity. What happened? Timothy exhales slowly. And suddenly, the conversation feels more personal than either of them expected. Timothy exhales slowly, glancing briefly toward the audience before looking back at Sunny. Yeah, he says quietly. I mean, not in some dramatic way. The room stays still. No huge scandal, he adds with a small laugh. Nothing like that. A few audience members laugh softly with him. But there were moments where something got reduced, he continues. You say one thing, people hear another thing, and suddenly strangers are talking about who you are like they know you. Sunny nods. That hurts. He pauses. Yeah, the honesty lands differently. No applause. Just attention. I think people pretend public figures don't feel things because they're visible, Timothy says. Like attention somehow removes humanity. Sunny's expression softens. But visibility also brings privilege. Yes, he says immediately. And responsibility. Yes. Audience murmurs approvingly. I'm not confused about that, he says. I know I'm lucky. Then he pauses. But I think being lucky and being human can exist at the same time. A few audience members clap. Sunny nods slowly. That's fair. The pace of the conversation changes. Less sharp. More reflective. Another host leans in slightly. Can I ask something? Timothy turns. Please. You seem really thoughtful about criticism, the host says. But has there ever been a moment where someone challenged you and you genuinely changed? Timothy laughs softly. Probably more than I'd like to admit. Audience laughter breaks the heaviness. No, really, he continues. I think growth is embarrassing. That gets a bigger laugh. Sunny smiles. Embarrassing? Yes. He laughs harder now. Because it means admitting you weren't right before. Audience applause. Sunny nods. That's true. Timothy continues. I think people talk about growth like it sounds noble. Audience chuckles. But in reality, it's awkward. He gestures lightly. You rethink things. You realize you missed perspectives. Sunny watches him carefully. So you're okay being challenged? Yes. Then he pauses. But challenged and attacked feel different. The audience murmurs. Sunny leans back slightly. How? Timothy thinks for a second. A challenge feels like somebody believes you can do better. The room quiets. An attack feels like somebody already decided who you are. Audience applause grows warmer. Sunny folds her hands. That's actually interesting. She glances toward the audience briefly. Because I think sometimes tough questions get interpreted as attacks. Timothy nods. I can see that. Then he smiles. And honestly, I was nervous. Big audience laughter. Sunny laughs immediately. Nervous of me? Yes. The audience erupts laughing. Everybody warned me. The crowd laughs harder. Sunny points jokingly. Oh, now we're blaming me. Another host jumps in laughing. To be fair, we do ask hard questions. Timothy grins. No, and I respect that. Sunny raises an eyebrow playfully. You survived. Audience applause. Barely, he jokes. The laughter softens the room again. Sunny shifts in her chair. You know, she says, quieter now. I'll say something. The audience settles. I challenge people because I think conversations matter. Timothy nods. I can tell. But, Sunny continues, I also think sometimes people get defensive too quickly. Timothy smiles. That's probably true. Audience laughter. Sunny laughs too. You really hate disagreeing. No, he says, smiling. I just think you made some good points. The audience applauds lightly. Then Sunny says something that changes the energy again. Well, I'll admit something too. Timothy looks surprised. What? You made me think about something. Audience murmurs. Sunny gestures lightly. I spend a lot of time talking about accountability. She pauses. And maybe not enough talking about what growth looks like after accountability. The audience applauds. Timothy looks genuinely surprised. That means a lot to hear. Sunny nods once. But don't get comfortable. The audience bursts laughing again. The tension dissolves into something lighter now. Not gone. Just transformed. Another host laughs. This got unexpectedly deep for daytime television. Seriously, another says. We started talking movies. Audience laughter. Timothy smiles. We really took a turn. Sunny laughs. You started talking philosophy. You started interrogating me. Huge audience laughter. Sunny points again. And I'd do it again. More applause. The conversation shifts briefly into lighter territory. A host jokes about Timothy finally needing a vacation from interviews. Another asks about awkward red carpet moments. The audience laughs as he tells a small self-deprecating story about overthinking answers and accidentally sounding way too serious. You know when somebody asks, "How are you?" And somehow you answer like it's therapy. Big laughter. That's me. Sunny laughs harder than before. Okay, that I believe. As the segment winds down, the atmosphere feels noticeably different from the beginning. Still thoughtful. Still emotional. But warmer. Sunny turns toward him one last time. I'll say this, she says. You handled yourself well. Audience applause. Timothy laughs. That sounds like I survived court. Huge laughter. No, Sunny says, smiling now. It means conversation matters. He nods. I agree. Then he says something quieter. I think people forget disagreement doesn't have to mean disrespect. The audience applauds louder this time. Some even stand briefly. Sunny nods slowly. That's a good note to end on. The cameras begin to pull wider as applause fills the studio. One host jokes. Social media is going to have opinions. Oh, definitely, another laughs. Timothy smiles nervously. That sentence scares me. Audience laughter closes out the segment. After the show, clips from the conversation begin circulating almost immediately online. Viewers debate the exchange, with some praising Sunny for asking difficult questions and others appreciating Timothy for staying calm and thoughtful during uncomfortable moments. Short clips spread across social platforms, especially moments like, I think accountability and cruelty are different, and growth is embarrassing, with people debating whether the conversation felt tense, honest, refreshing, or overdue. Some viewers post reactions saying the exchange felt like what live daytime television should be: messy, emotional, respectful, and real. Others argue over who made the stronger points. A few fans joke about Timothy looking visibly nervous every time Sunny leaned forward with another question. Backstage, according to audience chatter after taping, the mood appears much lighter than viewers expected. Timothy reportedly laughs with hosts, thanks the panel for the conversation, and jokes that he now understands why people say daytime television can feel more intense than a movie premiere. Audience members leaving the studio continue talking about the exchange, replaying favorite moments and debating who they agreed with most. Some describe it as uncomfortable in the best way, like a conversation that actually challenged both sides instead of turning into shouting. And now we want to hear from you. Was Timothée Chalamet right about accountability and public pressure, or did Sunny Hostin make the stronger argument? Share your opinion in the comments and subscribe to the Star Talks for more real talk show stories.